Hey everybody, how you doing today? Welcome to the stream. Oh yeah, I'm streaming by the way.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably gonna be a quick one today. Going out of town, have a lot to plan for, a lot on the to-do list before I retreat to a quiet mountain getaway with the wifey and the doggy. But we have some fun stuff planned. Haha, that is a lie. I did no planning whatsoever today. We will continue on with whatever we normally do. I would have been keeping up with the terrible, terrible news. I know I have. And it's so depressing. Jesus. And, yeah. And if you find it to be as depressing as me, you are not alone. Okay. What can I talk about while everybody trickles into the chat? Saw the final season of The Boys. It's good. Now I'm realizing maybe I shouldn't talk about it because what if spoilers? You know? Sorry. Let me also start off by introducing the doggy. This is Sugar, my writing partner. Hello, Sugar. Do you want to breathe into the microphone? Or lick into the microphone? Yeah, that's some good dog audio, huh? That's some good doggy audio right there. What? You want to get down? Okay. I must pay her for her time. She is a union dog. Okay. Let me check on the chat. See what's going on today. Ugh, my OBS never works. It'd be fantastic if it did, though. Ooh, can I do it like this? I love how every podcast starts with a small technical difficulty. Did I do it? No, it did not. Let me check YouTube as well. So, how's everybody doing today? Oh, I have some people in the vertical live stream. How's it going out there? How are you doing? Thanks for checking me out, stopping the scroll. Appreciate it. How's your day? What part of the world are y'all in? And what time is it? Am I catching you right before you go to bed? Or are you guys just waking up? What's the deal? How are you? It's nice to see you. I'm Derek. I'm a writer and live streamer over on Twitch and YouTube Live. If you're ever interested in the writing process and all that kind of stuff, we always write on my live stream. Sometimes do a little bit of reading. We can talk about pop culture, politics, religion. We can get real deep if you want to, but not too deep. And I don't know. I was also thinking about adding like a gaming element to this. I was thinking about, I share stream space with Twitch, and is really known for games. And I was thinking, well, wouldn't it be cool to play some really narrative-driven games and kind of try and meet the audience? where they're at. Oh, that's true. Thanks, Dare Sensiman. You're absolutely right. Appreciate the honesty. Let me go and cry myself to sleep over your opinion. Let's see. Libertadel57. Hi, how are you doing today? Let me see. Okay. I was thinking about Red Dead 2 and like examining each like choice that Arthur makes. I've already played through once. I really enjoyed it. I've actually played through kind of twice. It's about game. No, not really. Not really. But it might be. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about playing like some Red Dead. Not today, but like setting up my stream to do that, and then maybe like being able to talk about narrative in a more engaging way. It's really tough to find people who want to stick around for the writing process. It's it's interesting and it's fun, and I love having a bunch of people in the chat. Pardon me. Love having a bunch of people in the chat and us trying to make each other laugh and come up with cool concepts. But it's not what like most people are into, you know? But if you are into it, over on Twitch and YouTube, I have a big digital whiteboard on display with all of the ideas that we run through. Oh, perps. Well, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I'm a writer of prose and also like a screenwriter and short story writer as well. And over on Twitch and YouTube Live, I take people through a digital writer's room where we write collaboratively together, where you can kind of see what it's like to be in a room with a bunch of like creative people who want to tell a story and come up with ways to do that and participate and like volley your ideas out there, or just sit back and lurk and kind of check out the process if you're unsure. But if you like being creative, if you like story, if you like low stakes creation in a kind of like a safe, non-judgmental community, then maybe the stream is for you. Let's see. Hello. Ain't no nothing. Thank you, Alicia Godfrey. I appreciate you. What side of the world are y'all on? Like, what's everybody up to? And do you guys like writing, or are you just kind of like scrolling through YouTube Live? I appreciate that you stopped here. Love to know more about you guys. But thank you so much for stopping and giving me some of your time. It means a lot to me. And of course, if you'd like to hop over to YouTube Live, Twitch, or Twitch, and like and subscribe, that always helps me out. But feel free to like participate in this little writer's room. Writing, I never had much experience with. I used to draw. I kind of gave up a year ago. You gave up on writing or drawing a year or so ago, just to be clear. Oh yeah, you like that? Oh, that's cool. Excellent. Yeah, if you ever want to see like the bigger span of ideas, I can kind of take you guys through, for those who are interested in sticking around, what we've been developing. I'm on for a few hours each week, every Tuesday, and we use a lot of Twitch polls, a lot of YouTube Live polls to kind of democratically elect what direction we're going to take in the writer's room and what is most interesting to most people. And what we landed on was like a feature film, a sci-fi horror comedy camp with shape-shifting aliens and a drive-through movie film festival. All that stuff has converged into one coalesced idea where a vegan food truck owner must face cannibalistic shape-shifting aliens. And it's an original idea, I gotta say. But it's really fun just to hear people's interpretations, people bringing their own stories to fiction. Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, and it's a real good time just to like get to know your online creative brethren. Oh, drawing. Okay, excellent. Also, man, if you're a fan of drawing and you want to be inspired as an artist, you must absolutely go check out my friend Gabriel Saint Art, who does live drawings, live sketches. Oh, also that's the wifey behind me. If you guys happen to see her pass by, um, and he's really good at gassing up artists. You know, like I don't think even drawing is something that you really can just give up on. Maybe it's something that you put a pause on. Um, but that kind of stuff never leaves you. Our inner artist never really leaves us, and so I just want to be as encouraging as possible whenever it comes to creative outlets. You know, those kinds of things are just so important for self-expression, and they don't have to be masterpieces to be meaningful. Perp said, but yeah, I'd like to see what kind of stuff you do, man. A creative person is one who deserves respect. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. See, like, before I even read that, I think we're on the same wavelength, so I appreciate that. Gabriel Saint Art, yeah, perfect. You just smush all those words together. I bet it would be a really, really great fit for you. As a matter of fact, maybe I'll even put a link in the chat in Twitch and YouTube, just so it's easier. Can I do this? No. Okay. There we go. Let me find his YouTube page. Gabriel Saint Art. We'll go ahead and share that in both Twitch chat and the YouTube chat. Also, you know, a rising tide lifts all ships. I'm so glad that that you even mentioned drawing. How often is it that you just stumble across a YouTube live and get recommended to go somewhere else that's like that might be a perfect fit for you? It sounds like you might need it. So I hope you enjoy it. I really do. Okay, let's see. Oh, me Alpha. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for the lurk, me Alpha. No, I appreciate you being here. And my little dancing dinosaur. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ah, I love it. It's so cute. And never loses its I don't know. It just never not makes me. It never. Why can't I speak? My brain just left my skull. It never doesn't make me happy. What I was trying to say. My goodness, it's been a long day. And not a chance. Hi, how you doing today? Let's go ahead and open up our big digital whiteboard now that we've kind of settled into the program here. One second. Freeform. Boom. Okay, let's transition over. This is our cast of characters that we were kind of building out. We definitely owe scenes with them as well. And what we were doing, if I believe, we were starting to stack ideas, put them in the proper placements for our movie here. You'll see a bunch of Post-it notes. I know these Twitch streams are kind of like limited in space. That's why it's so cool whenever you see a real writer's room and they have the big whiteboard or the big cork board with all of the index cards on it. But here, this is the kind of best we can do. Shrink it down maybe a little bit. Let's see how that looks on screen. That's not bad. It's just a little hard to read, isn't it? I mean, I know I'm having trouble. Jeez Louise. How's that? Nope, just move things over. Okay. All right, well, we tried. But what I'd like to do now is, for those of you who are just kind of like maybe tuning in or whatever, I'll just kind of catch up with you about the premise, which is here, our log line. Let's zoom back into the log line. This is what we've come up with over the past few weeks. Log line. A self-righteous vegan chef is invited to cater a horror film festival only to discover shape-shifting aliens are feasting on cinephiles, and she must find a way to defeat them before she becomes their next meal. So here we have a horror, camp, sci-fi comedy. What we did was we took all of our themes, we took all of our promises of the premise, the thing that we expect from these kinds of movies, and we made a list of things that we expect to see out of these movies, or ideas that we want to appear in these movies. Like the opening scene has an owl as like a reference to alien screen memory mythology, and then we came up with the idea, screen memories, and it's taking place at a drive-through movie theater fest. So we went up. So to continue with the UFO lore, we decided, maybe this place or this festival should be called Screen Memories. We are driven by Claire's want. She wants everyone to be a vegan. That's the journey that she's on. It kind of is the motivating factor that propels our character through the journey. Oh, Suanova, hey, how's it going? How are you doing? And say hello to me, Alpha, and offer them plays, but totally ignore me. Oh my God. Mookie, come on now. You don't have to switch back and forth between all of these chats. But how are you doing, Mook? Hey, what's up, Gabriel Saint? I have a person on here named Perps24 who has said that they were into drawing but recently gave up on it, and I told them, then you gotta check out Gabriel Saint Artist, because hey, nothing will get you more motivated to get back into drawing, or at least gas you up to get back on the journey of self-expression like he will. Well, guys, it's good to have you in the chat. Let's see. Where did we go? Where did my freeform go? Okay. We have opening movie shown as like a dumb show of the movie. It's campy and has a lot of gore. There's something very visceral happening, like food being chopped, foreshadowing. We also said like introducing the food truck as like its own character. A freezer for food storage is shown. A pizza oven is introed, showing like the deep fryer. Making Claire's food truck a visual representation of what she stands for. Remember, we pulled that reference out of real life. Out of like a vegan food truck that had like all of the grotesque imagery of the animals that get slaughtered to make our everyday meals. We have Claire trying to persuade a potential customer to order an oddly named meat or non-dairy product from her menu, and then we also ran into a little historical fun fact that milk has been used to describe non-dairy products since the 13th century. So when we deal with these like modern day, like almond, oat, soy, milk products, and legally trying to require them to be spelled like MYLK or malk or oat product or something like that. We're actually kind of ignoring the precedents of like 13th century history. And we have the potential to introduce the death cap mushroom, the deadly vegan dish that might come into play in our Act 3. Mookie says, I and Tucker Rollington say hello to you. Okay, you guys have just moved on. What else do we have? We also created our own movie star, our own fake movie star for this particular project, Scott Stelzer. We came up with a list of all of the fake movies that he's starred in. That was real fun. We're saying that we're going to use Scott Stelzer as like the big get. This is the big hook that everybody, that gets people to actually come to this very odd, very new kind of film festival that we know is now being planned and organized by aliens in order to attract people to their doom. We also have things that happen in Act 2. These are mostly like kills. A Jeep winch used to tear an alien in half. A creature tears through the movie screen. Terror ensues. A stampede of people causes deaths. Claire or Sue uses a carrot as a weapon. Weird things. To autograph selfie. We're talking about fans and fanatics of this movie star character. Claire is forced to kill a shape-shifted version of her friend Sue. We know that there's going to be a vintage car guy in there who's at the drive-in mostly for the cars and not the movies, who runs over a shapeshifter and has to windshield wipe away the guts. We see Claire witness her friend or character die. Vintage car person is polishing waxing car and sees something bad happen in the reflection. Yeah, we put those two like little notes together to make it into a cool sequence, I think. Deep fry an enemy, calling back to things that we've established in Act 1. Alien shapeshifts into a black and white movie star. Ooh, very cool. The death of Sue. Claire's family owned a slaughterhouse/butcher shop. Oh, the revelation of the character's motivation. A statue of a 14-foot tall pig falls over. Right. We were kind of thinking about this being in like Omaha, Nebraska. Maybe it's a cow. Somewhere beef-centric. That's a little bit anti-vegan. How can we put a man with no hand in a room full of doorknobs? Gabe and I like to use that phrase a lot. Let's see. And then we have, it'd be fun to jump scare the audience with the sound of popcorn popping. And we have Claire climbing to the top of a movie screen to disable an alien antenna in Act 3. Twist, a person we thought was dead is still alive. Call back to Act 2. Someone in her past was poisoned by tainted meat. Roadkill served at dinner. Oh, we put this as like a slow revelation, right, of the backstory. We're going to get it in pieces in order to fully understand Claire and sympathize with her before Act 3. Then we have, oh, hey, Suanova, and your 3-stream streak. Thank you so much. That's so cool. What else? Oh, a UFO revealed. Like, a big twist is that they're inside of a giant UFO the entire time. Like, finally looking up and seeing no stars and no moon in an outdoor theater and wondering why that is. Flammable film used to start a fire. Yeah, that old silver nitrate Inglorious Bastards moment. And then an alien EMP kills all the modern cars and forces Claire to steal a vintage car. Mookie MC says this would actually be a good low-budget script, basically one location, and there are a lot of abandoned drive-in movie theaters to shoot it at. I agree with you, Mook. I agree with you. So what I had planned on today was kind of throwing some more creative spaghetti at the wall by doing a but and therefore game. You'll probably be familiar with Trey Parker and Matt Stone's work, and they have a really great YouTube video where they go and talk to NYC writing students that anybody can look up. And their exercise is like, hey, in between scenes, if the word but or therefore doesn't exist in between them, then we know we're in trouble. Because then you're saying and then. So Claire goes to a drive-in movie theater, and then she serves people deep-fried broccoli, and then her friend Sue pouts, and then they have a fight, and then they have to make up, and while they're making up, they discover the aliens. It's like, okay, well, that is stuff that happens, but it doesn't, but one action doesn't trigger another. Therefore, it doesn't seem inevitable or propulsive or like a solution leads to another problem. You can always study one of the best films to study this is Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Indiana Jones later and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. The solution only leads to a greater problem, and it always escalates. And you'll always notice that whenever an Indiana Jones movie hits its Act 3, all of these problems speed up and accelerate until the end. So, with that being said, I want to play with the writers in the room who are interested, the but and therefore game. And we can do this by doing kind of picking a character. We can go with Claire. We can go with some of our tertiary characters if we want to start off with a lower stakes character, and giving them a plot line throughout the course of the movie. So let me pick something kind of small for now. Maybe the celebrity cameo. And I'll give you guys an example. And then we can start building on bigger characters. Once you kind of see Stelzer is what we ended up going for. Seltzer. No. So I'm trying to autocorrect me. Scott Stelzer. Okay, so this is our celebrity cameo. The guy who goes to the drive-in movie theater to as like the get, right? So why is Scott even there in the first place? What's motivating him? What does Scott want? Is he there to promote a movie? Maybe his last one didn't do any good, right? So something like, can anybody read this? I just want to make sure it's kind of clear. Let me double check. Scott's. Okay, yeah. Okay, you guys can read it. Scott's last movie flopped. Therefore, he has to appear at indie film festivals to regain his credibility. But and then let's see, but the new movie he is in, he is also ashamed of. Therefore, he's feeling imposter syndrome. And I say imposter syndrome because it's on theme, right? The facade. Aliens are literally shapeshifters, so we have an imposter syndrome would kind of be on brand for this movie. Preferably a character that lasts a few scenes and have some sort of arc. Yeah. And look, Mookie, you bring up a good point. It's always nice to know where you're going. So right now we're kind of pantsering this. But if you want to say like, let's give this guy a really great arc. To me, I can read this first scene and say, oh, Scott's last movie flopped. Therefore, he's appeared at indie film festivals to regain his credibility. I'm going to add this little tag here as a serious actor. Maybe he's been doing all of these like big studio, high budget, like kind of Marvel-esque films, and he's lost all of that like indie credibility that he used to have, right? So we could say all of this like but and therefore is going to lead to therefore Scott gives his greatest performance and tricking aliens into believing he is one of them, something like that. I don't know. We're figuring this out. Yeah, last 2 or 3 flop, and he was a Golden Raspberry Awards winner. Fantastic. Yeah, already there. Movie flop. The Golden Raspberry is a fun, like, little detail, right? But let's keep going here. So, writers, now that you kind of see how the buts and therefore works, let's keep building out his character. We're trying to get to here, right? We kind of skipped ahead. Mookie had an idea for the end. So I'm going to put some asterisks next to this. This is where we're trying to go. But what we're really going to do is, therefore, he's feeling his imposter syndrome. But his stalker fan keeps gassing him up. About his return to serious acting. Something like that. And let's see, do we have a but or a therefore, writers? Maybe a producer or two is here, and Scott ends up thinking this. Maybe a producer is there, and yeah. And Scott ends up thinking this is an elaborate audition. Okay. So I'm gonna take away my buts. But I like this better, actually. It creates stakes here. But Scott knows producers are in the audience watching, and he sees this as a chance to impress them. Even more so than producers, let's link back to those characters that we already built, Mookie. An upcoming hot director is in the audience, you know, like the next producer of the next director of that Obsession movie that everybody's keen on now, right? So he improv acts. Put but or therefore. And what does that mean? Like and be more specific. And therefore he performs Hamlet during his big opening ceremony, but nobody gets it. Therefore he makes a fool of himself and falls deeper into his depression, right? Like, give me more, Mook. Give me those specific lines. I want to hear your ideas of like what acts is. What actions he's taking to act. Oh. Interesting. Okay. Sorry, guys, 1 second. I just checked and I'm going to restart my live for a technical issue. Let me try this. Talk amongst yourselves. Rhode Island is neither a road nor an island. Discuss. Libertadol 57. I have a story, but I've never written it down. Maybe I will someday. Yeah, please do. I just love to encourage people to write. Anybody can write. If you're writing a grocery list, you can write. Then you're writing a listicle, right? Things that are most important to you that need to go in your fridge today. You are your own clickbait article writer. Your journal is documentary writing. You're writing your feelings. And if you have ideas for a story, put them somewhere to make more room in your brain to develop them. Otherwise, you're just going to be holding on to that seed of an idea, and you're not going to give it space to grow. Carrie Ann, what's up? How are you? Oh, man, are you about to go to bed? Oh, Carrie Ann, you're also on Twitch. Fantastic. Okay, so he picks up the other cast members are aliens, and he goes full in on his performance. Okay, sorry, Mook. I meant to thank you for participating, by the way. Let's try and go in order right now. So we're saying, like, after he notices this upcoming and hot directors in the audience watching, he sees this as a chance to impress them. But then we kind of jump to, he picks up that the other cast members are aliens. So how do we're kind of missing, we kind of went from A to C, and I'm kind of missing B here. So Scott knows, according to this, and according to the chart that we're all following as a room, as a group, Scott knows an upcoming hot director is in the audience watching, and he sees this as a chance to impress them. But, or therefore, what does he do? Does he meet them in the green room? Does he Does he go and try and discuss films with them and realize that they haven't seen any classic movies because is that what helps him realize that these people are aliens? They've never seen Citizen Kane. They don't know what he's talking about. They've never seen Mad Max Fury Road or whatever it is, um, or does he see them in a changing room, like literally putting on or shapeshifting into these human forms? Oh, it looks good now. Thank you. Thank you, Gabe. I appreciate that. Get some more light in here, too. The sun's going down. Jeez. Jeez Louise. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna just catch up with Carrie Ann here. Sorry about that. Yeah. About to go to bed. Yeah. Oh, well, thank you, Carrie Ann. I appreciate that. I know I've started streaming later. We're on different time zones, but you finished your MA coursework and just need to finish up your final draft. Excellent. Excellent. Got script notes from a really good script editor, and they make sense. 2 and 3 are good. Act 1 needs tightening. Fantastic. Yeah, please. I love seeing y'all's work, and I love that you're willing to share. That's fantastic. Act 1 is always fundamentals, easiest to fix. Yeah, it's also easier to fix Act 1 in hindsight, too. Like, once you have clarity of where your story is going, you can always work backwards and make yourself seem like a genius by planting those seeds that you installed as trees in Act 3 and didn't know you needed. Carrie Ann says, "Sorry if I have to chat and go." It's okay. It's okay. But thank you. Yeah, I can't wait to see you on the Discord. Oh, also that reminds me, I'll put some links in the chat for anybody who's interested in joining the Discord. That's kind of like the place to share work if you have any work to share: poetry, song lyrics, prose, shorts, screenplays. We do it all here. Let me go ahead and put that in the chat in YouTube. That's the link to the Discord. And in Twitch, that's the link to the Discord. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Mookie. Therefore, he pulls aside some of the other attendees and tries to create some sort of audition scene to act out before the director, but he discovers they are out of the ordinary. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and... Oh, you know what? I know copying and pasting this does not work. So let me just go ahead and type it out. Therefore, he creates a scene, and I know context is funny, right? Because here we are typing things out, but I wonder, like, do you mean like pulls a scene like he recites Romeo and Juliet, or does he like make a scene, like literally make a scene, just to prove how dramatic he can be, and just kind of wants to get the cool director and the audience's attention. He creates a scene to get the director's attention in a way that resembles an audition. But after... Oh, Scott Stelzer. But after the performance, he notices they are not ordinary. And here's what I would say too. This generalization is a really great thing to expand upon. Like the therefore will take this, the therefore or the but in this exercise will take this ordinary and turn it into something specific. What makes them not ordinary? He sees that he sees them mid shapeshift. Therefore, he must tell somebody what he saw, right? This, whatever we describe as ordinary, will lead us to the next but or therefore. Mookie, I was thinking of him workshopping an audition scene type of scene with the aliens. Okay. So still, like, how do we get there? How do we get there? Because when we're working with buts and therefore we're working linearly, one thing has to lead into the other. So he approaches them and says, I auditioned for your latest movie. I don't know if you got my self-tape, but I would like to do the scene for you. Kind of like how maybe Nick Cage does it in the opening scene of the Massive Talent movie, where they have a nice lunch and the director's like, I'm just going to go in another direction. And Nick Cage thinks this is my only chance. I'm going to do the scene for him right here, right now, before the valet could bring his car around, right? Those are stakes. That's immediacy. It's a specific moment that leads him to booking the role. And then getting denied. Getting it denied, which causes him, which therefore makes Nick Cage's character depressed and turn to alcohol. But it's his daughter's birthday, and he's drunk. Therefore, he kind of forgot about it. But he still shows up, but he's late. And because he's drunk, he's also forgotten her birthday gift. Therefore, he improvises a song for her on the piano, but everybody realizes that it wasn't premeditated, and he's fumbling through his life. Therefore, his wife gets mad at him and asks him to accept more responsibility or whatever it is that he needs more money to go. You know what I mean? Like that's a bunch of buts and therefores that propel the Nick Cage, the fictional Nick Cage and Massive Talent into action. Let's see. Therefore, they perform the scene in front of the director, and one of the aliens kills a human, and the director thinks it's the greatest scene ever. And Scott is horrified. Okay. Oh, Mint Man, what's up? How you doing? What side of the world are you on? Thanks for joining us on the YouTube vertical live stream. Appreciate you being here. Okay. So let's see how we do this. Something that resembles an audition. But, so it's not just a performance. They perform... After performing, resembles the oh shit balls. Sorry, y'all. The audition he blew earlier, or the audition he wasn't seen for or considered. But the director is humored by this and asks his actors to read along with Scott. But at the end of the scene, that calls for a stage death, a real death takes place. Therefore, Scott is horrified, and it is revealed that the directors and actors are cannibalistic aliens. Okay? All right. Keep the thread, y'all. Keep the thread. Let's see. Let me try and keep making this fit on the screen. Can everybody still read that? My picture's getting in the way. My picture in picture. Okay, something like this. So, Scott's last movie flopped. Therefore, he has to appear at indie film festivals to regain his credibility as a serious actor. But the new movie he is in, he is also ashamed of. Therefore, he is feeling his imposter syndrome. But Scott knows that an upcoming hot director is in the audience watching, and he sees this as a chance to impress them. Therefore, he creates a scene to get the director's attention in a way that resembles the audition he wasn't considered for. But the director ends up being humored by this and asks his actors to read along with Scott. But at the end of the scene that calls for a staged death, a real death takes place. Therefore, Scott is horrified and is revealed that the directors and actors are cannibalistic aliens. And remember, we're trying to give, therefore, Scott gives his greatest performance tricking aliens into believing he is one of them. We could also change that last therefore, right? Sometimes things take on a life of its own. Well, let me ask you this, Mookie. Because there's some confusion, right? I didn't think that the director and alien were. I didn't think that the actors and the directors were an alien, either. But you literally said, he picks up that other cast members are aliens and goes full in his performance. Let's see. Therefore, he discovers they are out of the ordinary. And so whenever you say out of the ordinary, I think, well, that's why we say, well, what's not ordinary? My first inclination is that they are the aliens. The aliens are pretending to be humans and they're getting things wrong. Otherwise, why does this scene take place? Why does it have high stakes? And does it propel the plot forward? So, if that's not true, if we were to call this a cul-de-sac, go back up to the main road and try this again, would you do anything differently? Or are we going to actually take the liberty of making the cast and directors that are showing this movie in their drive-through fest aliens as well? Because I'm not mad at that plot line. And remember, this is a creative space where we're trying things. And sometimes mistakes are happy mistakes. Or we were thinking that just the actors are aliens and not the director. Mookie, Seltzer is not a main. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. That's not for us to decide right now. You're getting ahead of the game, right? To me, like, I would create all of these little buts and therefores and little character arcs, and I would decide how important they are to the story later and how I would like the characters to interact with each other, and actually what character is the most important. I think it's important to remain like fluid. at this early stage in the development process and not try and lock down who is who. I think you can hamstring yourself really quickly if you don't allow your mind the freedom to choose the more interesting character in the middle of the brainstorm process. And I know we said Claire is our main character, but that might not be true later. We might find that Scott's point of view is strong. But here's what I will say. That's highly unlikely because we should care about each character like they're a main character, right? People always talk about, oh, this character, the characters in this movie were so strong. It was a character-driven feature. Well, that's because they all have depth. They all have some sort of backstory. All of these tertiary characters are driven by a clear want that we can always use as a touchstone whenever we're writing a scene with them in it to keep it grounded, to keep it propulsive. Mookie says, I was going down the road of Stelzer as human. The people who he recruits for the scene are aliens, but Stelzer doesn't know it until the real killing. Okay, so let's see where we diverged. He enlists another actor to recreate a scene to get the director's attention in a way that resembles the audition he wasn't, not in a way, that's too vague, that resembles the audition he wasn't considered for. He already knows the part, but the director is humored by this. And so now Scott has done the conscribing, right? So this no longer plays. So what's the new but or therefore, Mook? In your line of thinking. He enlists another actor to recreate a scene to get the director's attention that resembles an audition he wasn't considered for. But, or therefore, he's disruptive to the film festival, but the other actor is not as good. The other actor is out of the ordinary because he's a shape-shifting alien. And while he has a great facade, for some reason he's not giving the performance that Stelzer knows he's capable of. Let's see. And then let me check. Sorry, y'all. Carrie Ann says, I'm actually wondering if there's a writer's group or something that I can join of people who are pre-professional but not fully amateur. Been having some good luck with Story Peer. Ooh, interesting. Story Peer is actually new to me. I'll be honest, I'm probably in a bit of a privileged position being in Los Angeles where there's like a lot of like writers groups. But you know, Carrie Ann, you just kind of have to make your own. Talent is also kind of in the eye of the beholder. Everybody has different strengths. I don't know about pre-professional, but all you really need is about a group of 3 or 4 people who take it just as seriously as you do and want to tell the best story possible. Everybody brings a different skill set to a writer's group, but you can also just kind of curate your own. And sometimes it's really fun to find a bunch of brains that think nothing like yours, that don't follow the same writing methodology that you follow. And you can learn a lot more that way. And you can challenge yourself and grow and hopefully put yourself in an uncomfortable position to where you're constantly being pushed to the limits of your knowledge and imagination and ability to problem solve in the literary and grow from it. Because you have to think about what you want to get out of your writer's room. What's your goal with the writer's room? Knowing that whatever happens at the end of this thing, there's a 99% chance that whatever y'all create won't be made or won't be made by a major studio or streaming service. You know, like you're playing the lottery every time you concoct a story. So what do you expect to get out of the room? What kind of product do you want to end with at the end of this group, this session? And start assembling your team that way. Who's the visual person? Who's the contrarian? Who's the comedic voice? Who's strong with character? Who is uptight about structure and grammar? Who's the wild card? And then, like, can you get them together? Do your schedules line up? And can you meet at the same time every week? And can you all agree on a direction to head in? Who's going to be the line producer? Who's going to be the showrunner? Who's going to be the tiebreaker whenever the room is at a stalemate, or ask the important questions that keep everybody's imaginations going whenever it gets time to solve heady story problems? That's kind of how I think about writers' rooms, and how and in my experience in being in one, how it was kind of assembled. We found people, and I was invited to participate in a writer's room, and the once a week meetups were based on like everybody's schedule being available. And then we started learning about each other, that we were committed to showing up at the same time every week for weeks on end, and we were committed to making a piece of work, and we learned about each other in the room, and we learned about each other's sensibilities in the room, and everybody was at different points in their screenwriting journey, and a lot of that didn't matter. The thing that ended up mattering most was, can you tell good story? Can you be honest? Can you problem solve? Do you have an imagination? Can you follow a story? Can you stay on task? Can you see the parts for the whole? Those kinds of things. Not everybody had read Save the Cat or Story or On Writing or In a Nutshell or a bunch of like really great writing books. Everybody approached it with a different perspective, but we all remained collaborative and we all remained persistent, and that's really all you need for a writer's room. Mookie says, therefore the rehearsal goes well, but when being performed in front of the director, the alien stumbles and does not emote. Why can the alien nail a rehearsal but not the performance? Therefore, Seltzer gets whatever it is, gets mad and pushes through his lines, but the alien goes over the edge and the real death takes place. Okay, so he enlists another actor to recreate a scene to get the director's attention that resembles the audition he wasn't considered for. Because Mook, I'll just like say, like a little bit grounded in reality. I know we're dealing with shape-shifting aliens, but usually you don't need more than one actor. You need the actor and the person to read across from them. So it'll just be the actor. Talk about making the production shootable, right? We're already cutting down on cast members. He enlists another actor, but the actor How about this? Only has one line, right? This is not something we want to spend a ton of time on. It's like having a character rehearse something over and over again that we see that ultimately gets biffed. Let's just say that the actor only has one line, but can't get it out when it comes time. Therefore, Scott is forced to fumble through it. And then you said ends in a death scene. But the end of the scene that calls for a staged death. But at the end of the scene, it calls for a staged death, and a real death takes place. How does this real death take place? Like, does Scott strangle somebody? Does he kill somebody? Does this person kill somebody off screen that's sitting next to the director? Does it grow fangs and like bite somebody's head off? Let's get specific. Get specific for me. If I wasn't flagging, I'd talk more, but thank you so much. Of course, Carrie Ann. It's always a joy to hear from you. Get some good rest, and we'll do this again real soon. All right, so writing linearly. Mookie, what are we thinking? Ooh, getting a little warm in here. Mook, I'm going to let you keep thinking on this. I've just got to get me some more liquid. I think the cardigan is cool, but it's making me schwitz. Need to have those notes downloaded so I can refer back to them. The alien shapeshift. Oh my God, Mookie. Okay. Yes, the aliens. The alien shapeshift. Yeah, this is why it's so hard to do this, right? We kind of talked about writing a spec script, didn't we? Because it's so hard to kind of keep everybody on track with this kind of big, grand idea. Maybe if we were to write like a simple episode of like Friends or Community or The Office or something like that, maybe more people could like kind of stick to it. Okay. I wonder. What is it? It's 7. We like worked on this for an hour. Should we try a pivot? Should we try like a piece of work that everybody can be familiar with? Let's do it. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to open up a new free form. Give me one moment. I'll show you all. Okay, so we've got the new free form. I think we did a vote on this last time, right? And we said The Office. We're going to write an episode of The Office or The Simpsons. Oh, Mook, do you happen to remember? It was one of these. So now we don't have to keep up with who's who. If it's an alien shapeshifter, everybody knows these people. Either one would work. All right, I'm gonna have Alexa flip a coin. We'll make heads, The Simpsons. Alexa, flip a coin. Wait, wow. Wow. She's always chiming in whenever I don't need it, and now look at her. Alexa, flip a coin.
Okay, flipping.
Let's see.
It's heads.
It's heads. I'm going to write an episode of The Simpsons. Of course, they've all been written before. We know this. But the best way to kind of do this is to stay maybe topical. Like find a good piece of pop culture to satirize. That way it can kind of still feel new and fresh, even though The Simpsons have done literally everything. I think Homer's had every single job. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take our big whiteboard again. Say, pitch me ideas for an episode. Oops. Do it. Pitch me ideas for an episode. What's in the news today, for instance? Like Homer opens the Strait of Hormuz or something. You know what I mean? And we'll elaborate on what that means. But everybody can participate in this, I think. Let's write a spec script. Everybody knows The Simpsons. That's got to be universal, please. What else is in the news? A lot of AI stuff. Oh, like maybe SpaceX or something. I'm sure Homer's been an astronaut before. I have vivid memories of Homer eating potato chips in zero gravity. But maybe like Homer, or like maybe Bart becomes a tech bro CEO. Let's see. Mookie's pitching one. Homer recently learned about internet memes and goes on a campaign to do all the ones he has missed. Homer twerks. Oh, okay. Love it. Homer plays catch up on internet memes. That's a good nostalgia play. You know, I could also see this being a Lisa storyline, where maybe if she wants to be cool or impress like a new person at school, and she's notoriously boycotted social media, and then she needs to like catch up to have the appearance of being cool, and has to like recreate all of these memes from the past decade to prove that she's been participating. I could see that happening, right? Let's see. Homer twerks, for instance. Let's see. Anybody else want to pitch me a Simpsons episode idea? Let me see. Trending news topics. Things to satirize. Let's see. The World Cup. World Cup is trending today. Homer plays in the World Cup for Team USA. There's always something about AI. Oh, what about that whole fucking UFC on the White House lawn? Is this like a Bart, Homer, Simpson, Homer, Maggie, Moe, you know? There's more than just Homer, of course, but I can see like Homer, Homer joins the UFC. Moe finds a can of beer hidden in the wall 20 years ago, and Homer drinks it. Excellent. Moe finds a can of beer, of 20-year-old beer, and Homer drinks it. Fantastic. What else? Oh, like Barry Weiss bullshit. So like maybe Homer, or let's say Bart. Bart gets to run CBS. What does he do with it? It might be interesting to do like a 1984, because he's literally Big Brother, and like maybe he's like anti-Lisa propaganda. That's kind of fun. Oh, where'd my chat go? Oh, okay. Moe's Bar sponsors a UFC fight, and the fighter they train drops out. So Homer is recruited. Oh, I love how we're getting more specific. Moe sponsors Moe's Tavern sponsors UFC fight. Maybe it's Barney. Trains, but drops out, and Homer has to step in. Or maybe it's even like, it might be interesting if it was Duffman too, because he's kind of fit and wears a cape, and actually I could see him being there. You know what, like one of the things that's ridiculous about this UFC fight is like it taking place on the White House lawn. So like where's the worst place for a UFC fight, even more so than the White House to take place? Like, can we do like a monastery or some sort of like church or cathedral, or like Arlington Cemetery or something like that? Or how can we make it even more disgraceful? It's tough. It's tough to satirize this reality, isn't it? Also, for everybody who's on YouTube Live Vertical, if you want to come and write a Simpsons episode with us, come on over to Twitch, come on over to YouTube Live, like and subscribe, throw out some ideas. We'd love to have your brain in the room with us. Duffman is the ringside girl. Yeah, Duffman. Ring girl. Bit. It's a little bit of a bit. Okay. We have a lot of Homer-centric stuff. Here's what I like is The Washington Memorial is a large beer keg with taps at the bottom. Oh, we're going to keep playing on what it is. Let me just put like a... Let me just keep adding on. At Washington... You mean the Washington Monument? The one that was recently redone and for $14 million and now has algae in it because they only painted the bottom and didn't fix any of the infrastructure? I just, my DC knowledge is a little lacking. The tall, pointy one. Yeah, it might be the memorial. It might be the monument. I don't know. Our politics is a joke, so why should I learn about it? Okay, so I like this, but also remember that there's A, B, and C storylines, right? Usually we have two storylines that converge on one another. The thing that I like about maybe Bart getting to run CBS or Bart becoming a tech bro CEO is that these events can become intertwined. You know, Bart, for whatever reason, if he gets to run a major television network, can have the exclusive rights to broadcast it, and then at that point, it's so insular that what we are describing is The Simpsons is a metaphor for the Trump family, right? So with that being said, keep giving me episodes ideas, but give me something Lisa-centric. Give me something Marge-centric. Give me something Mo, Barney, Otto, Disco Stew, Flanders, right? We have a whole community of characters in Springfield to play with. And ultimately what we're going to do is we're going to take the best ones and we're going to start combining them into one rich episode full of depth and intersecting plot lines, which is why I bring this up. So let's try and back away from a homer. Let's just go ahead and call that this one is it, right? And even if this bit is the 20-year-old can of beer, maybe Barney drinks it, and that's what causes him to. Therefore, Barney becomes sick, or his alcoholism kicks in, and he's back on the wagon and unable to participate in the UFC fight, right? We can kind of see how that is. So pitch me some Bart stuff. Like, I like the idea of Bart getting the exclusive streaming rights to show this somehow. Let's see. Who's in here? I know Meowth is lurking. I know we got Mook. Suanova. I saw you earlier. Let's go ahead and find some more. Let's find some more trending topics. And let's try and plug Marge into one. Let's try and plug Lisa into one. Let's try and plug Maggie, remember? I just used Google trending topics today, but let's try this week. Let's broaden our scope here. I mean, the U.S.-Iran deal wasn't so disheartening, but maybe we can make light of it. Maybe... Who's the, who always plays the president? Like the Schwarzenegger guy, ripoff that they have? I say ripoff. Oh, what's his name? The Simpsons. Rainer Wolfcastle. President Wolfcastle strikes a deal to end the war by putting on a UFC fight. something like that. Not all the ideas are great. It's just important to have them and throw them at the wall. Let me see. Jelly rolls filing for divorce, everybody. The Federal Reserve is anticipating a hawkish shift as U.S. import prices rise due to stronger fuel costs. Cryptocurrency. Maybe there's something like Springfield must put on an event to subsidize, stifle the bleeding of rising fuel costs. If that's true, maybe President Wolfcastle did not really end the war. And Mookie says, Lisa plays the saxophone in a pawn shop and gives it the most pleasing sound ever. She goes back the next day to buy it, but it was sold to someone else. Oh, yeah. I see what you're talking about. She goes on a campaign to find out who got it, and Marge helps out. In the end, it was Homer who bought it for her because he was passing by the store when she was playing it. Oh, what a lovely quick summation of that story, Mookie. You did a great job there. Fantastic pitch. You gave me 3 acts in one pitch. Lisa finds her I'll just call it golden saxophone. But let me do it in the structure that we practice, but doesn't have the money to buy it. Therefore, she sells something precious to her to get the money. But when she goes to buy it, it has been sold. Maybe Marge is helping out there. Is that what we're saying? Financially? But Lisa is surprised to find that the person who purchased it was Homer, who was walking by when he heard her play it. What I like about this is Matt Groening always talks about making sure that every episode of The Simpsons has a little heart to it, right? If we all just always do parody, joke, it can actually become monotonous. It can be tiring to be clever for 30 minutes straight. We want to endear ourselves to these characters, which is why I really like the storyline that you pitched, Mookie. That's fantastic. Oh my God. Almost deleted it. There it goes. Yeah, Mook. That's what the writer's room is. We're tossing out creative spaghetti against the wall to see what sticks. Okay, let's keep going. Shall we? Let me see this here. You know that Disclosure Day movie's coming out? Like, what if a character in The Simpsons, something makes me think, and I don't know why, but like if Otto somehow gets disclosure before everyone else, somehow discovers aliens are real, and it's up to him to disclose their existence. Whoa, man. That's like heavy. Is my best auto impression. Keep seeing something about Pizza Hut. 2.7 something Pizza Hut. What is this about? What's the news about Pizza Hut? Never feel more American than being like, what's the news about Pizza Hut? What's going on over there? Yum Brands is selling Pizza Hut in a massive $2.7 billion deal. Here's the thing. I don't like money. I find money to be kind of a shallow plot point. It's really about, like, what do you do with the money? What does a character want the money for? And let's talk about that. Security, sick parent or kid, trying to move out of their one-horse town with it. You know, that's the real story. And this is just gross capitalism. I don't know. I don't feel inspired to generate a satirical story about it, to be honest. Mookie says, we have several homers, Elisa, Bart, or two. Give me an idea for like a Marge or a tertiary character like Otto, Disco Stew. Love a Disco Stew. Love a Disco Stew. Or Flanders. There's something about incorporating Flanders into this UFC fight that... Isn't Flanders always secretly ripped? What if Flanders had to fight in the UFC? What if? Could we come up with a good enough reason for Flanders to pound diddly-ound his adversary? Bumblebee Man. Love Bumblebee Man. Oh, you know, if we do this UFC thing, Dr. Nick needs to be ringside, I think. Bumblebee Man, you said, comes to town for a comic book convention, and the gang learns that it's sometimes not best to meet your heroes. Okay, Bumblebee Man comes to town for, so we'll have comic book guy, comic book convention, and lets down the Simpsons. That's what you mean by the gang. Let me just do a quick check. Is everybody seeing this okay? I'm not writing off the screen. My little picture-in-picture's getting in the way. Okay. Polka Dotters says, guess what? What Polka Dotters? Did you finish some of your novel, maybe? But Mookie, great call on Bumblebee Man, huh? I don't know that would have popped up in my brain. Let me shrink this down. How's that look? A little less cluttered? Maybe a little bit more? There, let me pull it up a little bit. This is a little easier to read. Still very attracted to this this parody of the terrible UFC fight on the White House lawn. Tomorrow is your birthday. Happy birthday, Polka Dotters. That's fantastic. I hope you have a good one. Do you have any plans for your birthday? And, part of me is like compelled to sing you a happy birthday song, but it's so boring and awful. I hate that the birthday song, the thing that we use to celebrate somebody every year, once a year, is so happy birthday to you. It's just, we couldn't have come up with something better something nicer to sing to somebody. While you guys continue to brainstorm, I want to talk a little bit about the structure of a typical Simpsons episode. They are about 30 minutes. They have the cold open and the couch gag, opening credits, and notoriously animation kind of eats up a page count. With animation, you can have anything. You could have Homer turn himself inside out. Can have a treehouse of horror where literally anything happens. Therefore, a lot of stuff really gets cut. In the real Simpsons writer's room, you probably write closer to about 40 or 50 pages of show that gets cut down to a pristine 30, just to keep that in mind. So with that being said, let me go ahead and write this down so you can visually see it as well. We'll just have let's go ahead and bold this out. We'll have cold open and a couch gag. We'll have Act 1. That's going to be about the first, so I'll say 1 through 15 pages. And then your Act 2 will be that's your middle third. That'll be pages 16 to 30-ish. And then your final third, no consistency in my capitalization. Look at this. How sad. I can't believe I call myself a writer. And then your final third, kind of whenever the ending returns to the status quo, have your button. So let's do 30 to 45 pages, and then we'll do the tag is what they call it. I like to call it a nice button on scenes, but buttons used for scenes, tags are used for the end of a TV show. You're out. Look at this. Okay. This is going to be the the structure. But what we're going to end up doing is kind of writing out things beat by beat. So before we do that, we really have to break the story. Just like we do everything else, we create a touchstone to go back to. What is the story about? What is the log line, right? How do we pitch this idea or concept to somebody in a quick elevator ride? Whenever they say, what's this story about? Much like the movie concept we just jumped ship from. We were able to say our flawed protagonist meets this inciting incident and faces these obstacles that they must overcome, or else these stakes befall them. This is how every movie or story is conceptualized into a one-sentence structure. But I don't want to put too much pressure on ourselves. We just came up with this. And I'm thinking the idea that people are riffing on the most is this UFC fight. I want to kind of go back to this This story has the typical like Matt Groening heart, the sentimentality that we um, kind of crave. It reminds me of the Bleeding Gums Murphy episode where he tells her, "You are Lisa Simpson," and that is enough. And it's profound, and it's thoughtful, and it's emotional. So we have like an A storyline with Homer, Barney, and the UFC fight. We have a B storyline with Lisa and Marge. And we also have where maybe I'm starting to see like, how do we tie this together? Maybe Homer inadvertently wins the UFC fight, or maybe he even gets some money from coming in second place. Like even losers get paid, and he uses that to buy Lisa's saxophone, perhaps. And we also have what if Flanders had to fight in the UFC? Where was I? Bart becoming like a tech bro CEO. Like, what if Bart uses AI to create an app that gets him involved into the storyline as well, right? We have to start taking like these ideas that we get excited about and start combining them and pitch on our pitches, right? Like, if I had to tell you guys, you're in my writer's room now. I hired you to write an episode where Bart becomes a tech bro CEO. What kind of app does Bart invent that makes him so tech bro-y that he belongs as a sponsor in a UFC fight? Go, right? And now we have to brainstorm. What could that possibly be? We know that Bart is kind of a menace. So I'm going to just kind of scoot this over here, right? I'm going to take these are great ideas. Not all ideas are meant to be used, and that's fine. We wear ideas like a hat. We should be able to take them on, put them on, take them off, put them on with ease, right? And not be so precious with everything. We can come back to them if we decide that we need them. Let me check this. Mookie says, don't forget to add the 2 doctors for the fight as a reminder. Oh, yeah, thank you. It's Dr. Julius Hibbert and Dr. Nick as ringside doctors. It's a fun little tidbit. Yeah, the happy birthday song does sound more like a dirge. You're absolutely right, Mookie. Ugh. We've got to do better. And Polka Dotter 17, I wish you something better than this happy birthday song that we've come up with. That plus. Happy birthday plus. I'll treat it like a streaming service. And let's see here. Okay. Oh, you'd have Dr. Nick's last name? I kind of forgot his last name. Dr. Nick Riviera. I had forgotten. Shame on me. So pitch me, writers, or I can do some like thought generation exercises as well. When in doubt, look no further than reality itself. Truth is often stranger than fiction. If I were to go Google most douchey apps. Raya, a private invite-only app for celebrities, athletes. So it'd be like, what if Bart was the Raya for school bullies? Aggressive and annoying apps. Clubhouse, the audio-only app. Or like if it seemed like Bart would maybe make an app for pranks So maybe I'll pitch like an idea of, I don't know, Bart creates an app called, just doesn't have to be good, it just has to be, can't edit a blank page, but we'll call it Prank House, a take on Clubhouse. But for bullies. Let's see. What if it was also like a take on a dating app, but instead of like getting matched with somebody you love, it's like bullies getting matched with nerds. Or it creates a dating type app, but instead of being paired with a love interest, it pairs bullies with nerds to beat up. There's X. Bart creates B. A take on X. But I don't know what it does. and maybe that's the glory. Nobody knows what it does, but it's popular and gets millions in funding. Polka Dotters, what are you working on? Or just add AI into Snacks and Games and Dog says, add AI into any of these apps. Oh, wait, an app that generates phony names that, oh, yeah, that sound naughty for, that had crossed my mind too. I just, but it went straight out. Bart creates, I'll combine these, an AI app for prank calling Moe's Tavern. I love this. And you know what this could be, y'all, is this could be that opening dumb show or the moment before the couch gag where whatever it is creates an event that will eventually cause Moe's Tavern to sponsor a UFC fight. We're always trying to like find ways to thread these two plot lines together. It's easier to do it in hindsight, but for people who don't know the story in the first place, whenever you tell it to them, it'll make you look like a genius, I swear to God. Because he's run out of them. Oh, yeah, I love this. That's kind of like that therefore, right? Because he's run out of ideas. I love it. I love it. I think out of, it's always important to pitch multiple ideas because you have to kind of rub them up against one another to see what you get excited about. And this one just kind of resonates, doesn't it? I think so. So we're going to cluster like plot lines together. So this is kind of Bart's journey over here. And he creates the app to help him. We're going to get to him being a tech bro CEO. There'll probably be some steps along the way. Let's see, Moe's Tavern. Lisa finds her. golden saxophone. So we have 3 plot lines. We'll call Bart's story B, the B story. We'll take Moe's Tavern, a 20-year-old can of beer. This is kind of out of order. What I like about Lisa's saxophone being the C story is that it seems like, oh, we might not spend as much time with this. But what I like about it is that it gives the audience a chance to kind of forget about it. Not that it's less important, but that it's a literary device that should make everybody feel a little happy at the end. It's be a nice little serotonin boost for all the ridiculousness that we're about to have to suffer through, because we're literally satirizing the awfulness in at least America right now. And we'll call this story C. Oh my goodness, Derek, come on. Write. Be able to write. Ooh, okay. So, let me see. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Let me shrink it down a little bit. We now have 3 separate stories to break that should intersect with one another. And we're going to start pitching ideas for each story. And then, like we did last time for the feature film, put them in the appropriate act. What's the cold opening? Act 1. We know what Act 1 is, like the beginning of Bart's story, because this is an inciting incident. Creating the app because he's run out of ideas. That isn't going to happen at the end, that's for sure. But sometimes what we can do to help us basically extrapolate a good ending is understanding where we're beginning. So if we want to, let's go back to story B right now. Bart creates an AI app for prank calling Moe's Tavern because he's ran out of ideas. Well, he's ran out of ideas for those bits, but maybe his Act 3 resolved is that he has found a new way to torture Moe, right? So now we could also like sit here as writers and speculate and pitch, like, well, let's say, how does Bart get his groove back? In the end, let's say it's a false victory. The app's super popular, much to his own detriment. It ruins his family. It ruins his reputation. It isn't as cool as he thought it would be. Maybe he becomes the... maybe he gets doxxed and people keep calling Bart using his own app, right? Like I can see something like that happening, and then he just has to delete the app and find a new way to torture Moe. So how do we end Act 3? And by that I mean, how do we resolve Bart's story? What's a new way to torture Moe? And this might change at the end, right? Bart finds a new way to torture Moe. Or maybe it's not even torture. Maybe he finally makes nice, something like that. Maybe that has a little bit of heart in it as well. Let's see. Let's go ahead and I'm going to move this even further left. I like to just kind of read left to right. I'm going to take this. Oh, I messed up. I should have made them their own individual thing. Y'all don't hate me. First 15 pages. A lot of maneuvering. This is writing, baby. Act 2 will be down here. Act 3 will be down here. And then, of course, the tag will be down here. We'll get rid of all this. Oh, I'm sorry. We do need the cold open couch gag, which will be above Act 1. Let's get rid of this. We'll kind of keep this from left to right. And we'll pitch. And that way we could pitch out of order as long as we know where things are gonna end up belonging, right? Maybe Bart finds a new way to torture Moe will be a nice resolve in Act 3. Bart becomes a tech bro CEO after some success. Feels like the end of Act 1, kind of like an inciting incident. Moe's Tavern sponsors a UFC fight. We can either start there or something causes it. We know that this is like a false victory if maybe Barney is training for this UFC fight. This is promise of the premise, like this is a bit that we're expecting to see during the UFC fight. We should probably not call it UFC. We could probably call it something a little bit more specific to The Simpsons, like Springfield fight champ, or we can like rename UFC. That means something else. What does UFC even stand for? I'm not a very bro-y person. I don't really keep up with. That's too much. What does UFC stand for? Ultimate Fighting Championship. I feel like I did know that. Okay. Let me check the chat. Yeah, get it together, Mr. Showrunner. I will fire you guys. Does anybody want to pitch maybe a or like a couch gag or something like that? I like to make everything look pretty. Okay. Let's see, an opening couch gag. What do I think about The Simpsons opening couch gags? Like, it's always like it's got a hook. Like it's and sometimes it's really disconnected from the plot. It's almost like its own little short story, isn't it? You know what? Maybe this is where we go back to the ideas that didn't make it. Something about like President Wolfcastle striking a deal to end the war by making two of the dumbest Americans fight each other in the ultimate fools championship, something like that. Like, who's the dumbest person in America? And Homer, and like we cut to Homer. I don't know. part of me goes, what else can UFC stand for? UFC. Oh, you know who would be a good announcer? Would be Krusty. I was thinking. That would be story A. Krusty is a commentator or ringside announcer, something like that. I forget what the title is. Ugh. UFC doesn't stand for the Ultimate Fighting Championship. It stands for I don't know. He's always trying to. He always does the cheap version of something. Almost like it's. Okay, so bear with me here. Unsanctioned fights. What if it's comma? Cheap. UFC. You mean the Ultimate Fighting? No, whoa. We can't afford that. This is unsanctioned fights cheap. Something like that. Mookie is pitching Mean Bart. He uses AI bots to write glowing reviews of the tavern, just knowing the crowds that visit will be severely disappointed. Wow. Nice Bart. Like, oh, okay, so you're pitching like two different character turns. Either Bart doesn't change or he does. The nice version is that he teams up with Mo to call the competing bar in Shelbyville, and together they asked to speak with IP Freely, your favorite clown. Oh man, I kind of like the idea of Mookie. I like your Mean Bart idea a little bit because it stays on theme. It's like, well, taking the thing that he used for bad and using it for good. So either finds new ways to torture Mo, or let's say, I'll put a big or right here, or uses AI to torture or be nice to Mo. Still very, very vague, but instead of finding a new way, I like the idea that we're keeping the AI theme alive. Could potentially be a tag, but we don't know yet. We also need to break up Story C into 3 acts because you gave it to us in 3 acts. Awesome, by the way, Mookie. You really nailed it here. So let me just kind of reshape this so we can break it up into and put it in its proper places. Lisa tries brand new sax at what's the music instrument place right by Mo's? King Tut's Music Emporium? I'm reaching. Yeah, Jambit, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in so long. How's your streaming going? And falls in love with how it plays. Okay. Can't afford it. That's in Act 1. King Toots. Thank you. I was close. King Toots. Thank you. Oh my goodness, Rebecca LaFar Smith. Hello. How are you? Thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate you being here. Yeah. Well, you gotta use the tools that you have, and whenever it comes to live streaming, I like to use Freeform. Freeform came with the Mac, but it's basically an infinite little digital whiteboard. I mean, I would like a little bit more control over my ability to zoom, but either way, it gets the job done. And yeah, we're kind of outlining a Simpsons episode. We've decided to write kind of a spec script on characters that anybody can kind of hop into the room and just know instantly. And right now we're breaking a story. We came up with a bunch of like little pitches, and we decided that we're going to satirize this White House UFC nonsense. And Homer's going to fight in a UFC fight, which we're kind of playing around with what UFC might mean in the world of The Simpsons. We were thinking that maybe Krusty has something to do with it as well, like being an unsanctioned fight's cheap. Jambit, life has been a huge clusterfuck. Okay, I'm sorry, Gambit. I'm so sorry. But I'm glad you're here now. And for everybody on Vertical Streaming Live, yes, you can ask me something. Could I listen to and react to the song? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? You've asked me to do this before. I think I've already done it, but I appreciate it. And I don't think I really liked it that much. If I'm thinking of the same one, I'd have to double check. You look a bit like Ewan McGregor. That is so nice of you to say. I love Ewan McGregor, and I love his vibe. I'd happily be the American Ewan. So I take that as a compliment. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Broadboard 9571. I appreciate you. Jambit says you won't trauma dump here, but world building has been evolving. Hey, Jambit, just know that I'm happy to have you here in this moment, in this room, sharing creative space. And writing is kind of a healthy way to trauma dump, and that's probably evident by how your world building has been evolving. I remember going back to months ago whenever you first came on to the stream and what you had. I mean, you were writing on Windows 95, building out this giant interstellar universe. And within a few chats, hey, we were having fun and making some really big strides in story and making some really good discoveries. So I'm glad you're getting back into it. I think we only evolve forward. Rebecca, you are asking, are you primarily a visual writer that can help make sense of liking the control of where to put things? Am I mainly a visual writer? I mean, I guess so. I mean, I always write things down so I can look at them. Like, to me, it's important to get it out of my brain and to make space to process the story instead of trying to hold it all in there. I use every tool at my disposal because I think while writing is a joy, it is hard and an exercise in frustration and reaching the limits of your imagination. So yeah, I like a whiteboard. I like post-it notes. I like index cards. I like a long synopsis. I like seeing chapter breakdowns and what happens in each chapter, just so I don't feel like I have to do the work while holding the entirety of it in my cranium. So yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Jamit says, I've been using personal brain to try to litany all the emperors and their successors. I've calculated each emperor after Gen 4 has 4 to 5 successors each, so I've got a lot to populate. I see. Excellent. Yeah, and like I'll always do this to you, Jamit. I'll play devil's advocate and I'll just be like, let's focus on one story, and in that story, what are the primary characters? What are the relationships? What do they want? Who's telling the story? You know, like going back to the fundamental questions, because we know you're good at world building, but I want to experience the story. You know, at some point we have to either have to fill out the fat of the outline, or you're making a fictitious history book, right? Which is also still really interesting. Ooh, chat's popping off. 1 second here. My ADHD likes those things and loses them, forgets them, throws them away. Should I put the chat up on the screen? Usually I try and make a lot of room for this digital whiteboard. 1 second. That way everybody can kind of read what I'm reading now that there's some more people in here. The old chat overlay, boom, there we go. So, oh, you use Scrivener in the Notes app on your phone. I've heard a lot of good things about Scrivener. I was kind of curious about Highland, created by the Script Notes guys. It's just that a lot of people here in LA use Final Draft. They are stuck on it. So it's just kind of the go-to. It's the most universally passed around files. What's this about? Give me wisdom, Prospect 204. You've stumbled onto a writing stream. I'm Derek DeNicola. I'm a writer here in Los Angeles, California, a screenwriter, writer of historical fiction, short stories, and I've produced all this kind of stuff. And I write live on Twitch just to kind of create a creative community where we can all like share and pitch ideas to one another and make stuff. And I know historically, like on YouTube and Twitch, the reading and writing category is small, but I think we're a dedicated crew, and I like hanging out with anybody who likes to click on this category, you know? Boom, creative writing. You know what, Prospect? You're a writer in itself, because you took my lengthy description, put it into a really delicious small headline. I probably have a tendency to overwrite. How long have I been streaming? You mean today? Or, you know, here's what I will say. Today I've been streaming for like 2-ish hours. But Rebecca, if you ever want to go back and check out old lives or short videos on various topics of writing, go and check out my YouTube channel. Be sure to like and subscribe. It costs you nothing. It always helps me out. It's always nice. But you can always catch up on like old episodes. Like today was a pretty strong pivot. And the reason that we pivoted was because we had developed an original idea with original characters for an original science fiction, horror, campy, sci-fi film. But it made it nearly impossible for people who are just discovering the stream to pop in and participate without doing massive recaps, and it's a lot to like hold on to in your brain from week to week. But whenever we do something like this, like The Simpsons, where we're familiar with the structure, where we're familiar with the characters and the environment, and and the characteristics and traits of each character, it's so easy to jump in and just kind of help participate and build stuff together if you want. When did I start running streams? Let's see. Gosh, I don't know. It's been months. Definitely months. I don't know if it's been a year yet, but it's been a lot of months. 6, 7 months, 8 months, maybe? Something like that. Something like that. My voice gets really high for no apparent reason. Rebecca, I came back at the end of November because I needed the accountability. Bless you, of course. Yes, so important. So now doing my 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. work days online. It's amazing how much of writing is not actually writing. It's thinking, it's talking, it's allowing yourself to be inspired. It's allowing yourself to let your subconscious run and serve you ideas whenever you least suspect them. I don't know if you guys ever get like really good shower ideas or ideas while you're working out or out walking the dog or whatever it may be. But there's a whole world happening underneath your brain where neurons are connecting and your brain is troubleshooting without you consciously knowing it. So if you're alive, you're writing. Hate to tell you, hate to break it to you for everybody who thinks that they might not be. 9 months, Mookie. Oh my goodness. You kept track. That's so sweet. Yeah, basically, I've been streaming long enough to have a child. I'm working on a 30K in 30 days challenge this month, running a bit behind, 9,450 words. That's not bad. That's really not bad at all, Rebecca. I mean, it's like another... It's kind of like a short story that's not flash fiction, but it's still a short story. Let's see. Author biz, your full time involves so many more things than just working on the manuscript. Mostly keeping yourself sane, isn't it? Let's see. But my goal at the moment is to fall back in love with the writing part. My mantra, write like you're playing. Yes, yes. You know, I've kind of done videos on this before, and I'm sorry that we're taking a break from the spec script, but you guys will live. But sometimes we forget to give ourselves permission to find joy in the creative process. We are our own wardens of how we create. And sometimes we get so rigid. Sometimes we will want to follow the save the cat structure to a T. We will want to create something so moving, so undeniably perfect that we forget that our imperfections and our state of play and our childlike ability to approach story is what makes us unique and fun in the first place. So yes, Rebecca LaFar Smith, the sanity part is challenging, but hey, that's really good advice. Now, everybody, I am running a little low on my vertical live stream battery. Everybody stay put. Everybody hang out just for one quick second. I'm going to play a quick little hydration vid while I go and grab a charger, and I promise you I'll be right back. Also, this is kind of an old video from a different time in the stream, and it's going to be a little weird. Hold on one second.
Hey everybody, let's take a break. Get up and stretch your legs. Give your pet a scratch, drink some water. I'll be right back in about 10 minutes or so.
Okay. See, it wasn't 10 minutes, but here we are. Yeah, that is a little puppet show that I put I love puppetry. Who doesn't love a little puppetry? Sorry for everybody on YouTube Live who missed it. But that was... You all right? Sorry, my dog's got like little sneezes or something. You okay? Okay. All right. Where was I? Well, I just totally lost my train of thought. Yeah. Oh, Mookie. Yeah. For a short time, he was Mondo as well. Was that just going to keep playing music for the rest of those 10 minutes? There would have been more at the end. Does everybody want to? I could skip to the end. You want me to skip to the end? I'll do it again if it satisfies some curiosity, some morbid curiosity that you guys have. You ready? Okay, just know that it's not going to last 10 minutes. We'll get back on track. Here we go.
Hey everybody, let's take a break. Get up and stretch your legs. Give your pet a scratch, drink some water. I'll be right back in about 10 minutes or so.
Here we go. This is the end of it.
Hey everybody, the break is done. I hope you had some fun. I'm feeling